It says live over there. I can see
There we
it.
go. See, I'm still figuring this out. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
For having us.
Yes. Hanging out with the guys from E.R.I.E, TJ and Chad.
Two of us, yep.
Indeed. Matt and Levi. Who knows?
Life happens sometimes.
Life happens.
Yeah, Levi was trying to log on his phone, but I think he was driving too, so probably wasn't the safest.
You can't drink and drive anyways.
Anyway,
No.
yeah, it's not really a happy hour if you're driving.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad idea. Don't
That's
there is
not a
don't
happy
drive
hour
in
at
happy
all.
hour.
No.
How's your Friday, fellas?
Friday's good, man.
Going good,
Having
man.
a good time.
I got a nice dad-daughter date after this. I got to take my kindergartner to school to some thing. I don't know.
Nice.
Starting early and
You're up to 3 kids now. I don't think I've talked to you since you've had the third, so congratulations.
I haven't. No, thank you. Yeah. 5 months old now. It's crazy.
Oh wow, it's been that long already. Jeez.
Yeah, time's flying, man.
It is.
Did you just go to see Shazam 2 with your teenager? Is that what I saw?
I did. We were just like, I was like, we got to get out of the house, and that was the only thing I was playing, and it was fine. It was a movie, you know.
I just watched the first one for the first time, like literally like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is pretty good. So I'm kind of curious. So I kind of want to see the second one now.
It was good. She and I saw the first one because she liked a couple of like the kid actors who were in that one. We're also in the second one, and Zachary Levi's awesome. He's hilarious. So it was good. It wasn't as good as the first one, but still it had its like, you know, quirky, funny moments or whatever. But so it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys haven't been busy at all. Nothing going on band-wise.
Not busy.
No, just kind of chilling out and
much of anything. Not preparing for anything. Not
calendar's just totally wide open right now. If anyone wants to
know.
I know.
It's been good, and it's been wild. We've thankfully had a lot of stuff lined up. Shows.
You guys are on a little bit of a whirlwind here, as I have to focus on pronouncing that.
Yeah,
I told you guys. I like my happy hour started at about 12:30, so I'm
perfect. All right,
I had the day off. So if I start to slur, I apologize.
Yeah, just trying to keep the momentum going, man. It's definitely hard. You know, trying to keep people's attention focused on certain things, right? It's like, you know, every day you got to kind of remind them shit's going on, I feel like. But it's been good for us to have a busy schedule. It keeps us focused and keeps us just wanting to get better. So it's been great.
Nice.
It's been great.
Yeah, because you have, of course, Suburban Mayhem coming out next Friday, right? The 7th?
Yeah, it's next Friday.
An awesome release party at Lost and Found, which I will attend. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can't wait to see you in person.
Indeed. Yeah, I haven't seen you guys in person. Well, I chatted with Matt before the Jimmy Eat World show, but other than that,
did we see you before Jimmy Eat World?
Briefly past Chad.
Yes, we saw each other and we're like, oh hey, we're at a really busy concert. Nice to see you.
Yep. I didn't see you, TJ. Matt came to the Hollow because I like to go there.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours or something before the show and just start drinking.
And you saw Zach, right?
Yeah, and I ended up meeting the drummer, which
was rules.
Awesome. Well, like I'm sitting there at the bar, I look over, I'm like, holy shit. It's like Zach was facing me, and I knew it was him because he was wearing like the Arizona Diamondbacks hat, which he's always wearing on social media and stuff. And I could only see the back of the head, whoever he was talking to, and I thought it was Jim because they had like the same kind of hair. I'm like, holy shit, it's Jim and Zach. And it just ended up being a friend of Zach's, but still awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Chad took a drum lesson with Zach.
I did, like early in the pandemic. When everything was stopped, he was doing like virtual drum lessons. So I did one and it was awesome. Just got to talk about drums for a half an hour with my favorite drummer. Pretty tight.
Yeah, he's awesome. Because I hopped on the Jimmy wagon back in Bleed American.
Yeah.
So I've lost count of how many times I've seen them, but I've taken one of the few bands I've taken like long road trips to go see. Nice. So to finally meet one of them in person was awesome. But it's never happened to me where I've sit in a restaurant type environment and I see like a band member I want to talk. I'm like, I can't talk to him while he's eating. That's just rude. Like that's my first thought. So I sit in there and like he probably saw me keep looking over because I'm literally just waiting for them to finish because I don't want to interrupt their meal or anything like that. So that was a little awkward.
Yeah, for sure.
He probably had you pegged. He was like, "This dude is definitely."
He's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him at our shows."
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That's awesome, yeah, that show is wild because like 6 hours before, I get a text from my my old friend Frank, who actually sang on a song on our first record. And he was like, "Hey, you going to Jimmy World tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, sweet. I'll see you. I'll see you there." From the stage. I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like,
Frankie and the Fingers. Is that what they were called?
He was like, "Yeah, the opening band dropped off, and Jim's tour manager just gave us a ring and asked if we want to do it." So he's like, "I'm flying back from the city now." Like, he's was driving a truck for like some sound company. It's like, I flew back from the city. We were gonna make it just in time. It's like, this is wild, dude. Like, how awesome is that? But that was an awesome show.
That was a great show. Yeah, because it had, geez, I think it's been years since I've seen them, so that was awesome.
Yeah, that was the last show. Jimmy World was the last band I saw before everything shut down. Matt and I went down to see them in Poughkeepsie in like November of 2019 or something.
Where were they? Were they playing the Chance?
Yes, yeah.
That place is awesome. That's the only place in Poughkeepsie I know.
Yeah,
but that place is super cool. I've been there for a bunch of great shows.
Yeah, that's a good spot for sure.
Actually, I met Andrew McMahon there. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
A Jack's Mannequin show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's coming for his solo stuff in
May 16th. I just saw.
Yeah, that should be good.
Oh, hold on. We got a Ralph Renna. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ralph. What's going on?
Oh. What are you guys sipping on? You guys, you just got some new beer koozies in, I saw, and I shamefully admitted I've lost my previous one, so I got to get a new one.
That's all right. We're happy with these because we were idiots the first time. We were like, let's just put a lyric on them that kind of makes sense, and that was like a year before, like the album hasn't come out, still hasn't come out yet, but now the lyrics sort of make sense more now. We didn't put our band name on the first ones, so we're like, okay,
yeah,
rookie mistake, right?
Brandon mistake
now, which is good. So if you pick one up, at a show or something, guys, it'll actually say our name on them now. So perfect. But I'm not drinking. I'm drinking my normal Down East cider. Didn't want to go anything.
That's right. You got a daddy-daughter date. Understandable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gotta be responsible.
100%.
I have Founders for Giants Tropical Treasure Tropical Hazy IPA.
Nice. Ooh. I have not heard of that one. How's that?
As the first time I saw it, and I was like, let me try it, and it's pretty tasty.
Nice.
Sweets. I've got some Adirondack Brewery Bobcat Pilsner right here.
That's good.
Some tasty stuff. I did a podcast with Bob Schaefer, the brewer, up there a while ago. Super nice guy. First time I had been to, I think I did that like late last year. First time I had been to Lake George in like 10 years. Like, holy shit. And driving by the abandoned water slide world before that gets torn down. I'm like, oh, childhood.
Oh, man.
Yep. That's fucking great.
Hey,
bye.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
How fast were you speeding to get home? To make it.
Oh, man. Fortunately, there's a nice tailwind. It just pushed me along. It was great.
Oh, look at this. Perfect. Same time. I almost didn't see him because the extra box was way down there.
There he is. There he is.
Wow, everybody.
Work sucks. Oh, well.
No,
I know.
We're all dying anyway.
Shout out to Nippertown.
Yes. It's hazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matasaurus Rex. I like it.
Nice. Everyone's here. Awesome.
Everyone's here. You gotta get gigging. Hey, it was gonna happen.
For a few minutes, unfortunately, I do have to drop. But
no, thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
How's we were just chatting. How are your Fridays going? It's happy hour.
Yep, that's how it's going.
They both work for the same company, so this seems apropos. Yeah.
You'll see me ducking back to check my work laptop every few minutes. If that's the indication.
That hurts.
It sure does.
I should, but I'm not going.
As I mentioned, I had the day off, so I started happy hour at about 12:30.
Nice.
Well done, as you should. Yeah, this is the life of a band when you're adults and dads and things, basically, right? It's like you gotta juggle juggle your work and doing fun shit like this, and yeah,
And then going to do parent things.
and going to do parent things, right?
I have to go eat
Indeed.
pizza and watch a movie after this. So
I mean-
that could be worse, I guess, right? But,
I mean,
but-
I'm not. I was gonna grill some burgers if it's not raining and then watch a movie, but so it's kind of the same thing.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I think most of the prep's done, but we have a birthday party tomorrow at my house, so we have like all of my nieces and nephews coming over. So like,
Nice.
Why
you do
not?
this and then go do that.
We'll destroy the house anyway. It's fine.
Well, yeah, no need to clean up now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, the house is pretty clean. It's like the decorations. Krista, my wife, did most of it already, I think, but I'm sure there's something we'll have to put together. So
Awesome. So you guys just won favorite alternative artist at the Listen Up Awards. Congratulations.
Did. Thank you.
We
Those
really
were-
did. Holy shit.
What was that like for you guys?
It was pretty ridiculous.
It was, yeah.
Just in the sense that like we're kind of big proponents of like we're all just kind of one big happy community of bands and artists and shit like that. So the sort of competitive aspect of it is sort of lost on us. But just seeing like everyone there and then all the people we were up against and then they called our name, it was kind of we were just like, wait, what?
We just looked at each other and we both like were like, what the fuck? And like, had to walk up and it was super surreal. Like it felt like I don't know, like out of your body type thing where I'm like, I didn't seem like I'm just looking around and there's all these people and the lights are so bright and I didn't know how to talk.
There's this awesome picture that someone snapped. I don't know if it was Frankie, but I went up. We both went up together, right? But I went up to the podium first, and I said whatever I said, which I don't really remember much of, because I was very much rambling as I do. And then I was like, okay, Chad, I don't want to hog the mic, right? Chad went up, and I'm standing off to the side, and I've got my cell phone, and I'm just taking a picture of him with like this stupid ass grin on my face.
I did see a picture of you taking a picture of him.
Yes, and it captured that moment so well because I remember up there I was like, this feels surreal and like I'm just totally fanboying right now over just like, this whole thing. I definitely remember like, snapping pictures of Chad and snapping pictures of the audience. I'm like, if I'm gonna be up here for like 45 seconds, I'm gonna take advantage of it, just have fun. But it was cool, man. It meant a lot for sure. So it was
Like
it was
a
good.
tourist in Times Square.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, did Mirth Films put that on? Right, it's a local award show, basically celebrating just the awesomeness of the local.
Yeah,
film.
Radio X, I think, really is the one who like puts it on. Mirth Films is a sponsor, and they definitely handle all of like the AV and Frankie. Frankie was there taking pictures and stuff. He actually accepted an award on behalf of Annie in the Water, I think it was, who weren't there.
Oh yeah.
He like ran up, and Frankie's awesome. He was
He really is.
He's the best.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'd never actually been to Coho's Music Hall before, and it's a really cool spot to be in.
Yeah, I haven't been there either. But,
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's talk the new album, fellas. I'm excited. You guys were kind enough to share this with me a while ago, so I've been jamming to it for I don't know, maybe like at least a month or so.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, I sent
fucking-
you in February, so thank you.
this album is
It's-
fucking awesome, guys. You guys did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
We're stoked on it.
Thank you.
Suburban Mayhem, April 7th. So it's the second E.R.I.E album, technically, but this is the first one you guys all wrote together, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
what was that like as a group writing process this time going into it?
We all
For-
have a lot of opinions, and that's the thing.
We
that
do,
happens.
and we take a long time to figure out what our opinions are, and then,
And then we
don't wanna
reserve
talk
the right
about
to
our
change
opinions.
them.
it was really good for me because as far as like the very very beginning of the process wasn't a lot different. It was still a lot of I demoed a shit ton of songs, and instead of me kind of taking those and building on them myself, I was able to send them around to the guys, and then they took my bare bones demos, voice memos, whatever you call them, and they kind of built them up from there. So it was nice in that respect. If looking at it totally from a very close up thing. It's like I'm not a drummer by trade. I'm not a bass player by trade. So being able to have, you know, actual musicians that are seasoned in those instruments kind of come up with parts for these songs was extremely beneficial and awesome. And then Matt's just an incredible, he writes parts like my brain can't fathom. So like it's really cool to have.
I can feel the love through the screen.
Yeah. So it's and I think it's very apparent listening to, like, if you listen to the old stuff and then listen to the new stuff, you can definitely tell the change in camaraderie and just influence from all four of us. So
well, it's interesting because, well, TJ, you basically wrote and recorded all of the first album yourself, right? Really, before you knew any of these guys, but they had been playing those songs with you for how long before you started writing for this album? So
yeah, it was I wrote the album, I recorded it, and then I kind of found the band after, and then so yeah, they were playing them, and since we've started playing them, everyone's kind of put their own spin on things. Like it's very true to the recordings, so like, you know, the songs are the same, but there's certain things that they do that I could never do, like, you know, fills that Chad throws in or runs that Levi throws in on bass that are just, they make sense within the songs now, and it's almost in their DNA more than the recordings are, because we've played them so many times together.
Right.
But then just it's a completely different thing having someone learn your songs than it is to actually write one with them from scratch. And yeah, it's just awesome. Yeah.
Sweet. Record release show next Friday at Lost and Found. How excited are you guys?
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
I wish it was today.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really good time.
I know.
Yeah.
Caesar Lannis is playing. And who was the other band? I forgot.
Alma.
Alma, that's right.
Who you saw with us at last year.
Yep.
They
They were super cool. Really unique.
Yeah. We're big fans of them, and they were kind enough to lend their voices to a song on our new record called Little Heartbreak.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And they just did a phenomenal job, but we kind of knew, like, right away.
Yo, Hunter.
We kind of knew right away we wanted them on the show just because of we got along so well when we met them a while back. Not to mention they helped us out. So yeah, they're gonna do a set, and they're gonna come up and join us for a song or two, and then Caesar Lannis. Yeah, those guys are freaking incredible. They won 2 awards at Listen Up.
Yeah.
So.
I saw that. They just won the Nippertown bracket too, right?
And
New York State.
New York State Music. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're awesome.
Repping the 518 in Glens Falls real hard.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to check them out too. I haven't seen them live yet. So
they're a whole vibe.
They're really good. They're insanely good.
But I remember going to see you guys. Yeah, it was last summer. You played a couple songs that were on the album. So clearly this is how tough. Like, so the album comes out next Friday. How long has it been ready though? Like, that you guys have to kind of sit on it and wait for that.
Months.
We got the masters back in December.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yep.
So
yeah,
we've been.
That's why we keep putting singles out.
Since then.
It's to Matt's point too. It's like that's kind of how people are consuming music nowadays. It's like single, and then you get the album, and you've heard half the album because half of them have been singles. But also to keep up with the pace of how people are releasing music, it's like you almost got to do it. So we kind of were like, it's not what we would normally do as music fans and music, aficionados, so to speak, but we kind of had to try and adopt that approach. Like, okay, let's try and do it this new way and see what happens. It's been fun, man. Just putting out singles and then the record. So it's been tough to sit on, for sure, to your point.
Yeah.
No, it's funny how times have changed with like the singles and album release, because bands are putting out like 3 singles or something before the album ever comes out. And I remember growing up, I'm like, you didn't get a single till literally like a month before the album dropped or something like that.
Yeah.
And I
more came out after the album.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have, like, if it blows up, you have an artist putting out like 6 singles from the album or something. But I kind of miss those times, man. I like, the album comes out, I'm like, it's awesome. I love it all, but I've already heard of it.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's all right. We saved some good ones.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good ones.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Don't get me wrong. It's,
delicious surprises.
And it's built with a theme, right?
Yeah.
So it is meant and intended and written and structured to be listened to full format.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you go when you go in to write an album? How hard is it to go in with that intent as opposed to just working on songs that you guys just randomly love or something like that?
We fell into it. It wasn't originally intended to be that way, but it
Not
ended
even
up
close to being an idea.
Yeah. And that being said, we still have, I think, like 5 songs that are in a state of almost complete, but not totally, that we have to to finish up after this comes out. So
it definitely fell into it for sure. We kind of knew the 15 or 16 songs that we wanted to work on. We kind of pared it down from the 30 or whatever that were out there. And we were like, okay, let's focus on these. And then from there were a couple that we were recording that just weren't clicking. So we're like, I hate leaving things unfinished, but it got to a point where it was just like, if it's not working, let's not force it. Like, we have enough songs for a record. Let's leave these on the back burner and revisit them with clearer heads and put out the ones that are working. So from there, it was like, okay, we got 12 songs and we liked them all. So we're like, let's just 12 song album.
And looking back, this is a complete statement. I can't imagine any of the other ones like those. I know there's the couple that Levi's referring to. I can't imagine any of those actually even fitting on here now.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
No.
No,
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be a really fun EP though. Probably in like
be in September.
12 awesome songs. I go back and forth between what's my favorite. It's hard to tell but it's probably back and forth between Bad Man's World and World is on Fire for me.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
I've woken up.
Singles.
Yeah, I've woken up with Bad Man's World stuck in my head literally like the last 2 mornings. It's the first song to pop in my head.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even like one day I didn't even listen to the album the day before, so it was just random. It just popped in there.
Nice.
Love it.
My daughter's been walking. My kindergartner, she's been walking around the house, just kind of humming to herself, like, "Should have kissed more boys, should have kissed more girls." I'm like, this is both awesome and might disturb her teacher.
Yep. What are your kids' reactions when they hear your music and stuff like that? I'm curious now. Obviously a lot of musicians are parents, but
mine is indifferent.
Yeah, mine loves it.
Yeah.
He talks. It's funny. He like talks about it like at school, and he's like, "Dad, no one has heard of E.R.I.E. What is happening?" And I'm like, "Well, buddy, I love you. Like that's it. Like that's all I can say."
Man, we haven't hit that.
That's your job, kid. Yet. You spread the word.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Grassroots, man. Here's some flyers. Hand them around your class. Come on, let's go. Dad's got to pay the bills.
You gotta get that kid merch out.
Yeah.
Good size.
My kindergarten, my 6-year-old. She loves our songs, and I'm always hearing her sing them and stuff like that. And she'll try and do like the, "Hey Alexa, play so and so by E.R.I.E," but she doesn't know the titles of the songs. She only knows the lyrics. So she'll like ask Alexa to play like a lyric, right? And she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about, right? But the other day, so when I got home from the Listen Up Awards, she knew where I was. I don't know how much she comprehended, but I walked in with like the award, and I come in the door. I was like, "Hey June," and I held up the thing, and she was like, "Oh, you won!" And she comes running over, and she's like, "I'm so proud of you, Dad." She's like, the biggest hug. I just start bawling. I'm like,
my heart just melted.
You're awesome. So like I think she gets how much it means to me, like being able to play music and stuff. And then my 15-year-old is just like, "Oh yeah, cool, awesome. I'll come to your show. I'll take some pictures. Yeah, awesome job." So you get a little bit of a whatever.
You're not totally terrible, Dad.
You're not right. Totally terrible. You're no Taylor Swift, but you're all right.
You're all right.
Yeah, my kids, I've got at some point we'll use this as social media fodder, but I've got a video of my 9-year-old yelling at me, "Dad, I got one of your songs stuck in my head."
That doesn't sound like it's a pleasant experience for him.
She says it with a smile on her face though. My kids love the album. It's pretty funny. It may have something to do with me not yelling at them when they swear in song form, but
Yeah.
take the good with the bad.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, but Bad Man. It goes back and I mean, I love all the songs on the album. But I pinned top of the list for me is Bad Man's World. World's on Fire. With shout out to Sydney Worthley doing some backing vocals on that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. We've become quite good friends, and it was just such a pleasure to have her lend her talents to the song. I think I've told this. We've done a few like little interviews and podcast things. I think I've told this story every time, but I asked her to do it, and I sent her the song, and like a few weeks went by, and she sends over like a session file. She was like, "You go have fun, blah blah, whatever." It was like 10 o'clock at night, so I go down and I start dissecting all this stuff, and I mean, there must have been like 30 tracks of just random vocal stuff, like all these sort of acting. It was just like a treasure trove of just everything was gold, but it was like I was like, now I got to pick what to use, right?
A lot.
And I must have been up till 2 a.m. just kind of cycling through stuff and putting a puzzle together. It was exciting. It was awesome.
She's got such a unique voice that fits so well on that song.
Yeah.
It added, like, it was a good song. It's a well-structured song, and TJ arranged it great. But the dimension that she added to it takes it to a whole other level. It wouldn't be what it is without her contribution.
No, man, like her background vocals, they're subtle, but they're perfect. Like it adds a level of intensity to it.
It's a whole environment.
As the song goes along, just builds. It's great.
Yeah, and I love that. That was one of my favorite parts of working on the first record was the few collaborations that I did where like I mentioned Frank before, but when he sent me his stuff for that song I did called The Background, I was very much on the fence with that song, and I remember like being very frustrated with it. It wasn't coming together, and then he sent me his stuff, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, there's the song, it's perfect. And I've always been I've never done a lot of that before, where I've like asked other musicians to like come in because it's never felt right. But for some reason in this project, it's like, okay, let's do some outreach here. Let's have some other people on from the scene and friends of ours that we know are super talented, and it's worked. Both that song and Little Heartbreak with Alma, and then our friends in the band Thanks did horns. There you go. Did horns on a song called Long Way Around. And
I was gonna mention the horns. I love the horns. That's why that's one of the songs that jumps out at me because it has the horns.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Grella from Thanks arranged those. Those were pretty clutch too. That another one. It changes the whole dynamic of the song by including some not four dudes with strings and some drum arrangements, you know?
All right.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped the album having a couple little influences like that, some brighter things. The horns thing was crazy. That's an instrument I cannot play and definitely cannot write or arrange. And just hearing what he heard and then come to life, like he and two guys that he knew came over and just were playing horns in my garage. I was like, this is wild. And after every take, I'm sitting down in my basement where I am right now, and they're up in my garage. And after every take, like, hey, how was that? And I was like, I mean, it sounded fucking perfect to me. I mean, they're like, I think we can do better. I'm like, okay, keep going then. I don't know. But yeah, man. Hey, Johnny.
John.
Going.
The best.
I have to drop, guys, but thank you so much, Chris, for inviting us.
See you, Levi.
Yeah, man. I'm happy you could pop on.
Yeah,
it's good to see you.
Good luck, buddy. See
Bye.
Have a good birthday party.
You guys with the kids with the A's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you people with kids.
Yeah.
I did pre-order the clear variant of the vinyl, which I'm super excited about.
Yes, that'll be going out.
Matt's doing what I was about to do.
It's gonna look good on my turntable over there. So
it's pretty.
Oh, you have. That's right. You guys.
Little sneak peek of what you're in for.
Ooh, look at that. Look, I can still see Matt's back behind him. Look at that. Oh.
There you go. There's your thumbnail.
There it is.
So I was gonna. So I assume those are all ready to do you guys have all those, or are you waiting on those to come in?
We'll be going out.
Real nice. We'll hand deliver them.
Oh, hey, feel free to come over. You can have some beers.
Perfect.
Like, so did you guys? How long did it take to get those made when you're an indie band and not, Adele or Ed Sheeran?
We lucked out. We found a quick turn place that wasn't booked for 4 straight years. So
Really?
a couple months.
Yeah.
It was like 10 weeks, I think. Now when you're, smaller band like us, it's just not affordable to go out and buy 1,000 records, right? So it was a very short run. It's a lathe cut pressing, which is just, it's how bands like us have to do it. Otherwise you'll go bankrupt. But it came out really nice, man. We're really excited about it. It's just, it's really cool to see our music in that format. So
awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to start spinning that guy and having some drinks.
Hell yeah.
Suburban Mayhem. So how'd you guys end up? I love the name of the album, by the way, and the artwork. The artwork's awesome as well.
Neil's the best. Neil's the best. Neil's the best.
Agreed.
So how'd the theme for the artwork and the name come together for you guys?
It ended up kind of being the theme. We mentioned how it's a thematic album a bit. It ended up being kind of the thesis statement we were trying to make. And, some of the elements that we were looking to come across in the songs are spoken for with the artwork too.
Yeah, I wrote the song Suburban Mayhem. And then it kind of, I really liked the title. I was like, that'd be a good album title. I don't think we really decided on it right away, but the song definitely came first. And that song, which is the last song on the record, it's kind of my ode to growing up in a pop punk scene in suburban Connecticut. And
it's a great fucking closer on the album. I gotta say, it's awesome.
My favorite fun fact about this is the main riff in that song is actually a riff that I lifted from my high school band. In a song that I had written, I don't know, it must have been
something like Silence.
So, yeah, I must have written when I was 15 or something like that, and I don't think I think we probably played it live once, but I don't know why it dawned on me to do that, but I was playing it at one point. I was like, I think that's a riff that I wrote when I was 15. Whatever, let's make it a song. So the song is kind of an ode to that, and just growing up, and then the title Suburban Mayhem kind of took on a double meaning with suburban mayhem, so to speak, when you're young is just running around your neighborhood and riding bikes up to your friend's house and this and that. You kind of have no idea of what's going on around you. And
egg in a house, toilet paper in a tree.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You
flash forward, 15, 20 years, and suddenly you're the adult and you're in the suburbs, and your version of mayhem is I don't want to get too dark, but you're making sure your kids get to fucking school safe nowadays. That's the world we live in, right? And we're very hyper aware now of all this shit, and it's heavy and it's hard. But I think the album kind of takes on both those lenses, right? That mayhem that you caused when you were young and how you didn't really know a lot of what was going on, and then but now we're adults and this is what we have to deal with, right? So. But yeah, it's to Matt and Chad's point, Neil killed it with the artwork. Neil actually runs our label Mint 400 Records.
All right, awesome.
He's a great artist.
He teach. I don't know if I should divulge this, but I'm not under any contract, so whatever. He teaches art for a living, so he definitely knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So. Being signed to Mint 400, do they just let you guys kind of do what you want and you just feed them what you're creating? Do they have input?
That was the selling point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. We can probably do whatever we want with them, and
within reason, probably.
Yeah, I wasn't.
We're not the type of people that are going to find those boundaries. So we're
no.
Right. We're going to make a cult record or something.
Right.
This year.
There you go. Give us some time. You got to build a following before you can have a cult.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all part of the process.
It's all part of the process.
Wheels are turning.
Indeed. I want to talk about the Bad Man's World video because it cracks me up.
Speaking of
seems like a good segue. Chad, the soup bag salesman.
My
Bag
soup.
salesman.
how did there's a lot going on in this video. Where did these ideas come from, and how much fun was it to film it? Because it looks like it was a great time.
It was a blast.
It was probably the most fun I've had in a very long time.
It was a very ridiculous day, and it took way less time than I think any of us thought it would. Shout out to Frankie Cavone from Mirth Films, who took a very, very outlandish idea that cropped up in my brain and then spiraled once everyone else got involved and we all started putting our fingerprints on it. And he was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's figure out how to do it. And it was awesome. We went to Matt's house for most of this, honestly, and just totally retrofitted a bunch of rooms at his house. He came with a giant green screen. I mean, it was ridiculous for some of this, like for Chad scenes. But yeah, I think the whole time we were like, we know we want to do a legit video for this song, and it's got to be humorous. It has to be something ridiculous.
I mean, those are the best music videos, man. Yeah. The ones that make you laugh are the ones you actually remember.
Yeah. So that was the goal.
To not have fun doing this.
I know, really.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you guys ever need an extra, I'm available to do the most ridiculous. As the more ridiculous, the better. I'm always happy to.
Noted.
Yeah. And it was great because No Fun. We played a show in February at No Fun. And
I was going to say that looked like No Fun.
It was a super dark show, and
the facility, not the actual act itself.
Yeah.
Terrible time.
You guys hated that. Yeah, no fun at all.
Not having fun at all.
Yeah.
But those guys gave us free range to do some filming, and again, Frankie shot those, and it just came out awesome. I mean, A, that's a great room to shoot in, and B, Frankie's amazing.
Is it August Rosa that owns that?
August, yep.
I went to college with him, actually.
In the aficionado days when he was still doing aficionado.
Yeah, he was an aficionado back then. We had a couple classes together at St. Rose, actually.
Oh, that's wild. Nice.
Yeah. He was a barista at the Muddy Cup when I ran the open mic there, it was a coffee house next to the Madison Theater in Albany.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit.
Yep. Not to age myself there or anything, but
because I went to St. Rose. I was a communications major, which was great. But literally the year after I graduated, they opened a whole new communications building on the other side of the. I'm like, really?
Yep.
I took the classes in the one with the leaky ceiling and shit, and now they just opened this building after I graduate.
In Oneonta, there was a building where it had classrooms on one floor, and then alternating floors on the other side of the building were like half floors, and you had to go outside from the classroom side to get to the offices in the same building. And the year after, I think TJ left, they redid that whole thing so it didn't do that stupid half floor thing anymore. It's always the way it works.
Always the way it works. Happened with my high school too. The year I was graduating, they started doing all these renovations and shit, and it got real nice in there. I was like, "What the fuck?" But, yeah.
TJ, is that your wife in the video pushing your daughter on the swing?
Yeah.
Shout out! I want to shout her out because she nails the look of disgust as you walk across the field. Out of any, like, it was really just the four of us in the video, and then we needed a female, right? And just because of the way scheduling shooted, I was like, okay, it's gotta be my wife. And so we kind of arranged it to where she and my kid could be there. And the four of us, I mean, I guess I can't speak for anyone, but we definitely don't have any sort of acting chops or anything whatsoever. And she did a lot of like musicals and plays when she was like younger and like school and stuff. And so like, I've actually done a couple videos with her before, and like you tell her recently, she's like, "Yeah, this is easy. I'll just, it's natural." So I feel like that look of disgust was probably like very like pent up. Like I need to get this out. This is the acceptable time where I can do it, where I can say it's acting and not real life.
Yeah.
She had one.
By not doing any dishes or laundry for like a week, so it could be an authentic hate. Like,
yes. She had one chance. She had one shot to slap me though. And I bet she wished she didn't like slap me harder. Like she had one shot, just nailed it, But yeah, it was good. Good.
So like, what are some highlights on the album for you guys?
Oh man,
I told you, Bad Man's World and World Is on Fire are probably my top two. I love the closer, Suburban Mayhem, the title track.
I really like Picture of You. because when I recorded, like, I didn't really know what I was doing when we recorded that song. And when we came into it, I just kind of just turned on autopilot and just played. And I think we did like 3 or 4, maybe 5 takes. And what became of it is insane. And I love playing it. But at the time when I was like just the drums, I was like, this is too busy. Like I feel like it's too much to just be that. Yeah, hold on.
No problem, man.
I'll chime in. It's the favorite one to play right now is Bad Man's World. No, go ahead. Back to you, Chad.
Picture of You. That's where I was going.
I love that that's your answer, because I know that was one where you were like, I think we should cut this song, or
I did say that.
We're like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I definitely said, I was like, I think Picture You. I don't think it's gonna work for me. I don't think it's gonna. I don't like it. And then like, he sent the first mix, and I was like, ooh.
That happens every record I do. That happens with me. There's always like the song where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm really into this one, and then I come around to it. Like I was talking about the background before. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. It's hard to pinpoint. This is the first time where I've like made a record and it's felt very consistent from start to finish, and I think I'm really just proud of that. I really like. This is an odd choice, but I really like the opening track. It's the shortest song I've ever written. It's like barely a minute, but I think it just serves its purpose so well, and it sets up the rest of the record.
It does, man. Like that's all you need for if you're gonna do an opening track like that. It's perfect. Like you come in with just the vocals, and it builds quick, and then it goes into the album, and it's great.
We spent a lot of time messing with that, and what ended up on the record was a lot of like experimentation of just kind of okay. It honestly was in the very beginning. It was a very, very fast punk song, and it was basically what you hear at the end of that song. It was like the entire time, and we discovered that at mid to late 30s. It's very hard to play like that now and keep it on time. So we're like, how do we make this work and still accomplish the same thing?
We can like 4 bars. 4 bars.
Yeah, that one is probably the one I'm most proud of on the album. That's one of the only times where I think I stood up to you, TJ, because you're like, I think we need a second verse. I was like,
no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
There was somebody who was like, I think we need a second verse. I was like,
we'll blame Levi. He's not here.
Yeah, definitely Levi. I know it wasn't me.
And that had to be that short, and it had to be an opener. It sets up the whole darn thing, man.
Yeah. And then we've talked about these earlier, but the collaborations that we did, I think, are probably the songs I'm most proud of. And
well, tell me a little more about Little Heartbreak. We talked about World Is on Fire, Little Heartbreak with Alma. How'd this one come together? Because it's a great song too. That's when I told Sarah, my girlfriend, I was going to be talking to you guys again. That's the song I played her when I went and picked her up from work and was bringing her home.
That's awesome. Yeah, it started out as a very acoustic kind of Americana song. I kind of always had the vision of what it ended up being. It was probably one of the tougher ones to like put together instrumentally. I know Chad and I spent a few sessions, just the two of us, trying to hash out.
That was my hardest song on the record.
Really?
It was hard.
And rhythmically, it takes on a couple different sort of things, right? And I think that was what was tough about it. And I think we almost needed to hear it finished to understand what it was. So to get there it was almost a little bit of a struggle. But right away, I knew that we needed a choir of voices, so to speak, and it was a long shot. Honestly, I was like, we played with Alma, and I'm such a fan, and we were kind of all in awe of their like performance, and they're legitimately professional musicians, like they score films and shit for like a
Oh
big,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, I'll ask if they want to do it, but I mean, whatever. And like immediately it was like, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I probably shouldn't reveal this, but like when I was mixing their stuff, I went in and I always throw a tuning plugin on vocals just to kind of make sure everything's driving and stuff like that, and to fix any little like intricacies and stuff. And the stuff they sent back, I mean, like it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't like anyone watching who doesn't like have like an audio engineering background, but like there's like basically like lines where that dictate the notes or whatever, and if you're off, it'll like fluctuate like an EKG kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, straight lines, like dead on the note. I've never seen something so like just on point. It's like, oh my God. I mean, you guys are just, so it was an honor. Really happy that they agreed to do this. So,
Well, I mean, when I watched them open for you guys last summer, that was one of the things that impressed me the most. Like they harmonized like fucking perfectly. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
They're
And you get to, all of you people out there in internet land get to see that if you so choose to come down to Lost and Found a week from today,
April
Friday.
7th.
$10 at the door, worth every penny.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good time for sure.
Yeah, that was a fun song. That one, I affectionately say we Pro Tools my parts together on that. That was one where Chad was mentioning picture of you. He kind of went in blank slate. I ended up going over to TJ's house to track this with kind of an idea of where I wanted it to sit in the song, but not a real idea of the notes I wanted to hit in that. And I mean, I think it came together pretty quick. I mean, a couple takes on each of those parts, and it just fell into place because I really wanted to make sure I wasn't stepping on that ambiance that they were going to be putting into the song.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of instances of that where it was like kind of like studio magic, where we spent, weeks and months just trying to write different parts that made sense. Then we get into studio and things change a little bit, but it was like kind of like that magic moment. It was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Let's just do that. And but doing the same thing for a month, writing this part, but we'll get in the studio and do something completely different. But it worked really well, I think.
It's funny because when I have an office job, I have to give presentations and stuff like that, and I spend so much time prepping notes and shit like that. And then I start talking and those just go out the window and I just start saying what's at the top of my head. So I kind of get that. I understand that feeling. You're just kind of going with it.
It's exactly it. Yep.
Long Way Around, I love a lot too. That's a good one.
Thank you.
So how'd that one come together?
How'd that one come together? Oh man.
Kind of quickly. That one was pretty early on too. I think that one fell into place. I think we all just knew where we needed to be on that. There wasn't a whole lot of fumbling back and forth on parts.
We started writing that one with Jordan, didn't we? That was a while ago.
I think so, yeah.
We have a very early demo of that with our old bass player Jordan before he took a step back, and it was actually there was like I think there were two demos. I think it was that and Can't Stop Running, where it was like, oh, this is the song. Like everything kind of fell into place and it made sense. And then we sat on it for forever because of how long just it takes to make a record, right?
Yep.
That's kind of why I'm blanking. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We just 2 years ago at this point.
That one's a blur. I don't remember it.
What's that feeling like when you've had the song ready so long and it's just now coming out and new to people, and like you guys are thinking of other stuff that you've made a lot more recently?
That's the thing with the records, man, is it takes a couple of years to write and rewrite and record and edit and mix and master and all the shit.
Oh yeah.
And by the time it comes out, it's old news to you, but it's new to everyone else. So it's I don't think I can ever
Batman's World for a year. And
you guys, that one I definitely remember from last summer.
But it gets you excited about things all over again because they're old hat to you. But then someone else comes out and sees it for the first time, and it's like, oh, that's a ripper of a song. And you're like, oh yeah, it is a ripper of a song. It's a lot of fun to play.
I wish that sometimes I wish that I could hear this record for the first time, like as a finished record, working on it as in pieces and parts, right? You know, you record the drums, you record the bass, you record the guitars. I'm kind of in there the entire time, right? I'm editing the stuff, and I can never hear the record from like your point of view, right? Like I've been hearing it in all these different stages, and finally it's out. It's like, oh yeah, this is cool, but I've heard these songs 2,000 times now, and I still love them. It's great, but at the same time, it doesn't give you that same feeling. And I wish that you could experience it through that lens. And it's just from our point of view, like you just can't.
It's a unique experience in terms of a job where you've put so much work into something, you're so used to hearing it that by the time you're ready to do something new, you're trying to move on, and everybody else is just getting into what you just did.
Yeah.
Comes with the territory.
It is, yeah. And it's been it's been good though. I mean, like I these guys will tell you I write a lot of songs, and so yes, I do have songs already kind of queued up for like another record and stuff. But for the first, I think it just comes with like a territory of growing up and having more responsibilities and stuff. I'm not like mentally onto the next thing yet for the first time, which is nice. Like, okay, I'm here, and
that'll be next month.
That'll be next month. Yeah, after the release show, we'll be moving on to the next record. It's fine. It's old news.
Already written, already recorded.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we have the release show next Friday, Lost and Found, with Alma and Season Landis, which I'm super excited for. So anyone that is not planning on going, plan on going. $10 at the door.
It'll be a good time. There'll be drink specials. Those guys got food. Come on down. Get a bite to eat early. Stay for the show.
Indeed.
Heck yeah.
So you guys have any tour plans in the works for the rest of 2023?
I actually just updated our tour tracker last night.
Hey, oh, look at you on top of stuff.
We've got a bunch of stuff coming up. April, May, July. I think we have one in June. June's ADCO. So we've got in April, we're doing the release show. Then we're going to do Glens Falls, the Park Theater up in Glens Falls. That's the 28th, I think.
You got to add Virginia to your.
Yeah, we were just talking to a band from Virginia.
Oh yeah, we're trying to do like little weekend traveling stints too. It's hard to do a full-fledged tour with day jobs and kids and stuff, but we kind of came up with a little strategy that makes sense for us as a band, which is, you know, we'll try and take a long weekend every month if we can, every 2 months, whatever, and go and play some new places regionally. Our label's based down in northern Jersey, so a lot of the bands are based down there too. So just going down and being able to play with some folks that we share, you know, the label with is great. So we're gonna do a lot of that this summer. Obviously playing where we can locally, try not to make people sick of us, and you know, yeah.
Do you guys have any pre-show rituals that you like to do to set the mood for yourselves?
Does beer count?
It depends where we're playing.
Yeah. Also, if there's good food, we will eat too much of it.
This is something I started asking every musician I talk to because it's fascinating.
We tend to eat like way too close to playing.
Yeah.
That being said, on the record, we need a sweet pre-show ritual.
Agreed.
Starting Friday, we need to come up with something.
We should poll the audience.
You're gonna poll for pre-show rituals?
I don't know.
That's probably not a good idea.
No, that's probably not a good idea.
Come on, man. You gotta buy in. We can make it a social media poll or something, right? Isn't that a whole thing that we're supposed to be doing? Getting better at social media.
Drummer.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
It's funny because I do some interviewing as well, and I was interviewing this artist from Britain, and she was telling me her band's pre-show ritual, and it was this very elaborate like air rock guitar session to like an AC/DC song, and they just go all out, and there's videos of it on YouTube. But before every show they do this, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. I would be so pumped after that. Yeah. Thank you for asking. We're gonna figure out something, and we'll let you know.
Did you just talk with someone from Death Cab for Cutie? Did I see you post?
I did, yeah.
How was that?
I talked to Dave, the guitar player. It was a blur, honestly. They're my favorite band, so it was like I was just so afraid of like saying something stupid or looking like an idiot. and I had all these questions planned out, and I got through like 5 of like the 20 questions I had, and their PR person or whoever, like their agent who was on the call too, they're like, just so you know, we have a hard stop in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, that went by quick. So it was awesome. He was so nice and just down to earth, and I mean, I don't even know, man. It was surreal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So are you guys listening to anything currently? What have you guys been spinning? That's not Suburban Mayhem.
I do listen to it.
I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Hockey podcasts?
I haven't listened to much hockey podcasts. I have, because my commute is now shorter. So my podcast time was my hour drive to Albany, but now I drive 15 minutes to Boston Spa. So I pretty much just drive in silence, and it's kind of cool.
You enjoy the silence of not having a kid scream in your ear. We talk about this all the time. It's like
just that 15 minutes a piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silence.
It's like 15 minutes where I'm just like,
we talk about this all the time. We're like, for musicians in a band that love music so much, we really listen to very little music, and we're trying to like why is that? It's like, well, it's because we don't have like kids screaming in our faces. It's like you just got to enjoy the silence for a minute.
I'm just thinking of Chad sitting in traffic now, the only person looking happy.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't even have traffic. I drive down back roads.
Yeah, but you're so happy.
It's like when I leave 10 minutes late to work, I'm still on time.
Nice.
That's how close I work now.
I started the new Boy Genius came out today, so I was spinning that all day.
They've been, I haven't listened to the album, but they've been playing them on the local station, at least the one song, and it's great.
Oh my god. I mean, they're just like the 3 of them individually are some of my favorite artists, but then they came all together, and I mean, it's
I'm glad you mentioned that, because every time it's come on, I was thinking I got to pull this up on Spotify and hear the album.
Yeah, it just came out today. It's a gorgeous record. It's great.
But what's her name? I have her one album and I can't think of
Phoebe or Julian.
Not Phoebe.
Julian Baker?
Yeah, Baker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's incredible.
So good. All of them. Lucy Dacus, all of them are so good.
I mean, yeah, they're all incredible. and they have this whole like they just don't give a fuck.
No.
I love like reading interviews with them, and it's awesome. But so that record's good. If you want a real throwback, the new Fall Out Boy is freaking awesome.
I just gave that a spin the other day, and I was into it.
Yeah.
I was unconvinced. TJ threw in the group chat, and he's like, "Oh, you got to listen to this." And I'm like, I haven't liked anything they've done since like 2005. And I listened to it, and I was like, "All right, there's some bops on here. It's pretty good,
right?" Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't really listen to Mania, which was their last album, I think, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, but like the new single got me, like when that came out not long ago. I'm like, I love that after listen. I'm like, so the album's good. Actually, All Time Low just came out with a new album.
I didn't listen to that. Yeah.
I'm not as into it as their last one. It's okay, but it feels like a little bit of a drop off. Still solid, but
yeah. I was pleased to see Fall Out Boy drop some of their pop R&B shtick for a little bit, and they went back to Neil Averon and Fueled by Ramen, and just it was great, man. But
I don't know if you guys are Broadside fans or know of them. I mean, they just put out I've been listening to, actually, there's a bunch of bands that just put out a bunch of singles. So I'm expecting hopefully a lot of awesome albums this year. Broadside, Band Camino just put out a new song.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That was good.
Somebody else. Oh, Barons, a Canadian pop punk band. They were just in Albany on a tour with Real Friends and
yeah.
Which I missed that show, and I hate myself for it.
I wanted to go, and I wasn't able to that night.
Fucking yeah, they've got some new singles out. Real Friends that I got into once I saw they were touring with them. If I see any band I like going on tour, I always check out who they're touring with if I've never heard of them. So I got Real Friends now, and it's a rabbit hole every time a band goes on tour I like, and I go check out who they're playing with, just so I know everything. So it's more enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%.
I fell back into After the Party and Hello Exile from the Menzingers, which are both a couple years
After
old.
the Party is Yeah, that was a great one.
That album, I think that album hit hard, man.
That's the one that got me into the Men's Inners. Like I had heard the name before that, but that's the first time I bought a Men's Inners album.
Yeah, they're playing in May, or they're playing Empire Underground in May. I'm planning on going to that.
Are they?
They're so good live. Yeah.
Fucking
yeah. That record is definitely one of my favorites, and gets better every time I listen to it.
Oh, we got a Ninja Turtle.
Ooh,
he's actually upstairs watching
Hi, buddy.
the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Now I want pizza and to watch a Turtles movie.
I just got this text from my wife. Actually, that's weird.
Yes, thank you.
I guess
that's a giant slice of pizza
time upstairs. Yeah.
Look at that. That thing's bigger than his face. I want a slice of pizza larger than my face.
That looks good, man. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much.
You look like you've grown exponentially since the last time I saw you.
He's pretty big.
Yeah.
Can you still throw him up over your head?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what's the throwing status this year?
I haven't done it since this size has become a thing, so it's nice. We'll see what happens. But
don't do it.
We're checking on to the cute drummer
here. There you go.
But I'm gonna go hang out with this dude, Chris.
Yep, we're closing it up right now, buddy. So I appreciate you.
Sounds good.
Coming on. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for happy hour. So thanks to anyone that hung out with us. Cheers to you guys if you've got anything left.
Cheers,
any bands, musicians, local breweries interested in doing a virtual happy hour stream, being on the podcast, reach out to the Stories from a Bar social medias, email storiesfab.com. If you'd like, we can set something up. Lost and Found Suburban Mayhem release show next Friday. What time is it? Set
8 o'clock.
Doors are at 8:30.
Doors are at 8:30. Yep.
Show up at 8.
Doors 8:30, $10. You don't want to miss it with Cecil Lannis and Alma. Follow the E.R.I.E social medias. Anything else you guys want to throw in? I'm not thinking of.
Just thank you, man. Thank you for always talking to us and supporting us. And
this is becoming a yearly tradition. I like this. I think you guys.
I was thinking earlier. I was like, last time we did this, I think I was laying in my hammock at an unseasonably warm day.
Summertime.
You were. It was March. We were getting ready to go into hockey playoffs.
Okay, look at that.
I think
we are again.
Good stuff.
We are indeed.
Keep supporting local music, even if it's not us, and keep supporting everyone that supports local music, like our friends Story from a Bar and everyone else that's around here, Nippertown and
Unsigned 518,
New York State Music, and Unsigned 518, and all these guys are, we're all part of the same community of creative folks. So it's not just the music makers; it's all the folks that we work with and hang out with and talk to.
Indeed.
Sure.
And finally, follow, and subscribe all things Stories from a Bar if you haven't already, which I'm sure anyone watching this has. You can find the podcast on all major podcast platforms. So until next virtual happy hour or podcast, cheers.
Cheers.